I don't know if we're live or not. Okay, Megan says we're live. Thank you, Megan. I love you, Megan. What would I do without you? Hello, relational realtors. Y'all have been working so hard today. I think it's time to stop and take a break and grab your favorite cup of coffee or your favorite cup of tea or your favorite carbonated drink. Without further ado, let's meet Elizabeth Stevenson with the Gratis Group. Let me have applause. Yay!
Hey. Hey. Hey guys. Hey Gina. Hey everybody on Facebook Live and Zoom and all the places.
All the fun
All
places
the
that we
places.
go to now.
That's true. That's true. Thank y'all for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Well, I appreciate you coming on. As you know, the Relational Realtors having a buy idea brainstorm week,
Mhm.
and that's why I thought of you.
Yeah, thank you.
And we, I've done Brian Buffini Peak Producers, and you have you categorize your relationships, and A plus are the people you show love for, and like ice cream scoops that Peggy had mentioned yesterday, and I thought of you.
Mhm.
So thank you. And why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, thank you so much. So, I live in Birmingham, Alabama, originally from Mississippi. My husband and I moved here about 5.5 years ago with a job transfer promotion with him. He's also with Cutco, so we are all about the knives, right? And I have been working with Cutco for 10 years as of a couple of days ago. Just had my 10-year anniversary. Love doing what I do. Started doing this towards the end of college, and I'm in my 30s, married, have a little girl and two fur babies at home. But
Aw.
7 years ago, I started working with real estate agents and other industry professionals, whether it's lenders or loan officers or builders or really kind of anybody affiliated with the real estate industry. And then also do have a decent amount of so what we call kind of general business gifting clients, whether it's something in the oil field or trucking or kind of any business that would appreciate, like we're talking about today, are really A plus clients. I think the Buffini mentality is not just geared towards real estate agents; it's geared towards really kind of all business professionals, because it can be applied, really across all industries, which is really nice about what he does. And what Peggy has been doing for years. I've been following her for a long time, very familiar with her. And what she does, again, it can be done across all industries, which is really nice too, but specifically geared towards the real estate industry. um, it's a really smart thing. And a lot of times, like Jan and I were talking about or a little bit earlier before the call started, it's really the difference between a relational realtor and a transactional realtor. And there's a big difference, and I get it. Like, it's really easy to go from deal to deal because you're trying to provide for your family, you're trying to maybe be at the top of your field, you want to work hard and maximize your opportunity. And I totally understand that. But where a lot of specifically maybe real estate agents sort of miss the boat is that taking the extra time to really develop those core relationships with your clients, uh, it would take a lot of the work out for you. If you just spend more time building those relationships, those are going to be those raving fans that out of nowhere you're going to get a call, on a Monday morning, say, "Hey, I've got 3 referrals for you, and they're all serious buyers." I mean, like,
Yeah, I'll take it. Yeah,
right? I'll take it for sure, right?
you'll get 3 ice cream scoops for that.
Heck, you might get 3 knives for that, right? So whereas when we're going from deal to deal to deal, we can really lose a lot of that. And when you're looking at stats and stuff like that, Forbes actually says that it is far more expensive to acquire a new client, so to speak, than it is to do a deal with past clients. And past clients become raving fans. They tend to spend more money the second, third, fourth go around. I think about a first time home buyer. There's somebody who maybe for a lot of people, depending on their age group, might spend 150,000 in some areas. Like I think Birmingham, where we are, the average home sells 167 or 168. And so a lot of first time home buyers might be in that category. It might be tough going, wow, I'm going to do something extra for them. But, down the road, they're going to outgrow their space. They're going
Mhm.
to need a bigger home. And then don't you want to be that person they call upon to now list that home, that $150,000 home, get that commission again, and then get them into maybe a 300,000 or maybe more, dollar or price point, right? So there's a lot
I
of
can't
value.
sorry, I can't remember the stats, but something like 70% of people would work with their realtor again. And out of that, say 80% of those people couldn't remember their realtor's name.
Yeah, it's close to that. So what's interesting is 5 years, right? They say like most people are selling their home every, I don't know, I think 5 to 7 years at this point. So 5 years after the deal is over, only 5% of homeowners can even remember their realtor's name. Like, can say, oh, my realtor was Jana May. Like that means 95% can't. Like that is a huge problem,
Wow,
right? Like
95, that's amazing. Yeah.
95% of homeowners cannot remember their realtor 5 years later. And I think that is in part to by human nature, we just forget things. We move on, go to the next thing of our life. And if our real estate agent is not being intentional and proactive and keeping in touch with us, we are going to use someone else, and it's not because we didn't like that person, because like you said, according to NAR,
Are
over
they still in business? Do they still
that,
sell real estate? Yeah.
exactly, you just don't know. So if you can do things to stay what we call top of mind, which is really what Peggy's talking about, staying present, being, because the thing is, if you're out of sight, you're out of mind, right? And so if
Right.
you can stay top of mind in different ways, and there's a lot of different ways you can do that. You can do mail outs, you can pick up the actual phone and call them, you can send them a text message or remember their birthday, send a card, maybe stop by and see them occasionally. But there is one thing that you can be doing that most of us are spending money on anyways, and that would be sort of that gifting realm. Maybe it's not a pop by gift, but it's a closing gift. Like you're already, most people already have sort of a budget set for closing gifts specifically. And so you can take that and really, think about how you're doing it. Instead of giving something that's sort of a gesture in a way, think about something that they're actually going to use, that's going to continue, like they're actually going to have in 5 or 10, 15, 20 years, that, they now, that item now resonates with them as something that they've done with their kids or had company over and spent time, family gatherings. Like you want to be, at all those different all those different sort of functions or events. And so if you can't physically be there, what's another way? Well, a closing gift specifically, but also doing pop by gifts. And, there's sort of a different, typically closing gifts you're going to spend a little bit more money on. They're typically a one-time, really intentional gift. Pop buys are typically going to be less expensive because you're doing them more frequently, right? So you don't
Right.
want to go maybe spend $100 on every pop buy gift. Totally get that. But the thing is, like, if you are just consistent about it and being very thoughtful, those clients are going to come back to you time and time again because they're like blown away, like, wow. And I'll give you an example. Something really took me by surprise. My husband and I, this is an interesting story. My husband and I went to Vineyard Vines at the summit on Father's Day, actually. And he wanted to look again, a couple pairs of shorts, shirts, whatever. So we did that, bought a couple of things, left. Thought nothing of it. They were super sweet. We took our daughter with us and they were like, oh, she's so pretty. I'm like, that's,
Oh, she
I
is.
love it, and I
And
was like,
happy girl,
yeah,
happy baby.
super happy baby. Oh, so blessed. And what came in the mail like a couple of days later, a very specific thank you note. I mean, just saying, thank you so much for coming in on Father's Day. We really enjoyed spending time. with you, your wife, Elizabeth, your daughter, Reese. Thank you so much for, choosing us. And we hope that you had, just kind of went on. It's very specific, right? And Brian was like, well, dang, like I will spend more money there because of that extra measure they took to make me feel loved. Right. So people remember how, you made them feel. So when it comes to, kind of going back to some of the gift stuff, there are a lot of different things you can give. I think it's really important to give something that's going to last, versus like a gift card's kind of here, there, kind of spent. Most people don't even remember kind of what they use that for anyways. A bottle of wine, a lot of people are like, hey, I do this to kind of celebrate. I think that's great if you add it into something.
Gone in a night. Yeah.
Definitely got it right. I mean, if you're like us in the South, it's like you got a big mega glass and maybe it's like, you drink half the bottle by yourself. I'm just kidding. So, there's a kind of what we call consumables would tend to be like those types of things, right? And then you have certain stuff that might be nice. Maybe it's a picture, maybe it's a vase or a piece of pottery, but it doesn't really get used. So I think one reason why, kind of talking to everybody that's on or looking live and everything, why Jana kind of brought me on is because the products that we represent specifically with Cutco have been around since 1949. They're made here in America, outstanding reputation. They just last forever. I mean, there are people that I know I've met through the years of my 10 years of doing this who have owned these things for 30, 40, some 50 years. There's not many things that you can give your client that they're going to have in 50 years. You think about the relationship that's going to be built over time, talk about that. And every time they use it, they're going to see your information. They're going to think of you more importantly. And there's always a way for them to get in touch with you. So they don't even have a chance to forget you, don't even have it. So, you want to make sure you're staying top of mind. Now, want to touch on something as far as branding goes. All of our gifts are branded. And I think that's important for a couple things. One, they always have a way to stay in touch with you, right? Because they have your information on hand. They can't forget your name because it's literally right there. But also branded items are 100% tax deductible as advertisement, right? And so,
how much is a gift tax deductible?
$25. So
$25.
Exactly. Yeah.
So if your name's permanently on there, it's 100%.
Yeah.
Right off.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm glad you brought that up. So, because you're so right. I mean, like, just to kind of clarify, if anybody's got any questions on that, because sometimes it can be a little confusing, is that, when let's say you did give a gift card. Well, let's say you spent $100 on it. Legally, the IRS only allows us to write off $25 of that. And that's because it's not branded. Now, when it comes to things that are factored or categorized as advertisement, things like your, name tags or business cards or your postcards you send out, kind of marketing advertisement, they don't put a limit on that, right? So because our gifts are branded, they're 100% tax deductible as advertisement. They're going to be filed on your taxes in that category versus client gifts, right?
Exactly.
So it helps, as far as that goes. And then I think the biggest thing is just putting a system into place. I mean, I think the biggest reason why if a realtor's not doing something like this is because, they're kind of just going by the seat of their pants saying, I got a closing coming up, I'm going to do this. Or, last minute, they're like, I might do some pop buys next week. And then they rush and get all the stuff together. Well, like, what if you sat down, before the beginning of every year and you planned it all out? Like, what if you knew, like, if it's a holiday, you're hitting a pot buy on that. If you're doing an anniversary gift, you're doing something like that. If it's, I don't know, birthday or something to celebrate. There's another book actually written by the #1 all-time selling Cutco rep, John Rowland, and the book is called Giftology, Giftolog.
I've heard of it.
Yeah, so it's called Giftology, and he talks about how to really love on your sphere and your A+ clients, and it's not just about loving on your A+ clients. It's there you go.
He was Cutco, wasn't he?
Yep. And, John's really philosophy behind that is that you don't just love on your clients, you love on their spouses, their assistant, their kids, like the people that are important to them. You go from the first degree of them, your client, just that one person, to that next layer or that next degree of influence, right? If you take care of all those people around them, they're going to feel that love even more. You know, just that card from Vineyard Vines acknowledging me and my daughter was so.
Oh, that's huge from a retailer.
Yeah, from a retailer too. Like, they're all we did was go in there and shop. Like, you know, it's like I would have never expected that. You know, I would have expected that. Sorry, I got the baby crying.
Right.
I would have expected that from, you know, maybe somebody, definitely my realtor, definitely my lender, somebody who I just like had a better relationship with or knew more in depth. But a retailer, like, that made me go, wow, you know, I've got some things that I can improve on, and that also, like, we could all be doing a better job.
You
And
will. Every gift you buy your husband will probably come from that store.
Yeah.
If it's clothing, if it's apparel.
I know. It's great. I was just blown away. I was very surprised, you know. And there's one of my clients, real estate agent that I work with. Every time I see her, I just thought about this too. Every time I see her, whether I sponsor a class she's taking, I see her like out in the grocery store. I mean, you know, anywhere. I get a note from her. Hey, it was so good to see you. Thank you so much for supporting us every single time. And I'm just like, wow, you are so intentional, you know? And that's really
Intentional. Intentional. I love that word. Sorry, I got excited.
No, I think
because I'm working on being consistent and intentional. It's so hard. One of the first things I did was I need to find my pot buy tag, ice cream scoop.
Mhm.
I packed that up with some Sunday glasses
Oh, nice.
at Dollar Tree, and I bought the ice cream scoop I bought for you,
Yeah.
and I delivered. I think I bought a dozen,
Mhm.
and I delivered to my
Nice.
top 12
I love that.
past
Yeah.
clients.
And if if it's one of those things where like maybe you're newer in the business, or maybe it's like financially like, hey, I've got a certain amount of clients and I can't go and do this for every single person, pull your top 10 or 20% and just start there. Like, I think it's important to do something rather than nothing. Because you can start there, and maybe all you do is appreciate your A+ clients. But I just think it's important just to, do what you can and get started. So I've got this right here, and I'm gonna actually delete my calendar. So hold on. And please ignore all the different things. I have so many logos and proofs from clients all over. But I've got these ice cream scoops right here, and you can see how like these, we actually engrave the back of the handle. And just to kind of highlight, for some people. So we've talked about ice cream scoops. Peggy talked about ice cream scoops on the last calls, like, pot buy items. We have pizza cutters, we have wine openers, we have can openers. We've got really kind of any other veggie peelers. We've got these little gadget cheese knives, which are the cheese knife but with a gadget handle, so they're a little more cost effective, put it like that. Cutco is definitely not an inexpensive item, but it is an item of high value, and because it lasts so long, it's guaranteed literally forever. So imagine giving something to one of your clients and then they lose it in a couple of years. Well, if that happens with us, we just send them a new one, so they're going to have it, so just let us know. If something gets damaged, we replace it free of charge. There's really nothing like that can pretty much happen that we won't honor something for. But this one specifically, see how it's got like your logo, name, phone number on the back of the ice cream scoop. So it's branded there. And then we also have our actual, knives, which we've got different gift sets. This is going to be more so into the closing gift realm, because the gift sets and the knives specifically are going to go in price point from $75 up to probably $250, something like that. So those tend to be more closing gifts, anniversary gifts, that kind of thing. Maybe referral gifts if you spend about $75 to $90 on a referral gift, that kind of thing. But like pizza cutter, very cost effective, and kind of going back to that ice cream scoop as well, very cost effective. And as far as like gadgets go, price point, they're going to run for us anywhere probably from like $40 to $60. And, sure, could you go to any kind of, home store and probably spend $10 on an ice cream scoop? You definitely could. But as far as value goes, if you want something that's actually going to last, it's, I'd rather spend the 40 or 50 or $60 on a gift like this and know that in 10 years it's still going to be there if I'm still going to be selling real estate in 10 years, because getting one referral from that, even if it's a few years later,
Yes.
a referral for $3,000, $6,000, $10,000, $15,000 in commission, well worth the $40. Like,
Yes.
you never know where those referrals are going to come from. So like, we know that it's definitely an investment item, but it's so well worth it, and 100% tax deductible, again, as advertisement. So as far as, if there's any pricing and stuff, you probably noticed that this website does not, hold on. Our closing gift website actually does not have pricing on it. I can get anybody who's looking at this or watching this video, I can get you pricing. I have a price list I can email you. This doesn't have pricing on it because this actually services the United States and Canada, and the pricing is different depending on what country you live in. So Canadian pricing is a little different than the US pricing. So we don't just blanket cost something on here. And we also do have quantity discounts, which I will send out with anybody who's got questions. I think, and I'm not sure, I think, Janie, you're probably going to post like my contact information somewhere.
Absolutely.
But yeah,
if I can get it right, the information I've got for you is like 7 years old when I first got the business.
Well, you got my updated email address.
Now I do.
Yeah, but my cell phone number is the same. You got that. But yeah, if anybody has any questions, please feel free to reach out. I'm located in Alabama, but I have clients all over the country. I can help you anywhere. We can ship your stuff anywhere. It doesn't really matter. But feel free to shoot me a text or an email. My cell phone number is 601-383-7404. Again, it's going to be posted along with my email, but feel free to text me, ask me questions, whether you have deals coming up or not. But please let me at least get the information to you, and see y'all.
Bye, darling. Bye, Relational Realtors.
Thank y'all for having me on. Bye.
Thank you.